Good morning. I would like to propose the question of what comes into our minds when we think about science and the authority of Scripture, and can we make those two ideas compatible? Can we bring them together in some way? The dictionary has the definition of authority as power, weight, clout, right, influence, and in the Greek, delegated, influence, uh, jurisdiction, power, and strength. Um, the gospel is the good news, and Jesus uh, is at the beginning of the Bible in Genesis. And so, here's some verses to show that. Uh, John 1 through 3. In the beginning was the Word. Colossians 1 through 6. In him all things were created. Ephesians 1 through 4. In him before the creation of the world. And Peter 1:20. He was chosen before the creation of the world. Now, Jesus is at the beginning of the gospel, and so because of that, we have to talk. I'm mainly going to talk about creation, just because of so little time and why that is how it is 6 days, basically how we can prove it's 6 days and be confident in the authority of Scripture as opposed to millions of years because of science. So the word universe, even starting with the word universe, literally the definition of, if you just break the word universe down, uni meaning one, and verse meaning a spoken sentence. The word universe is literally just one spoken sentence, which is already pretty cool. Um, also, the Hebrew word for day that is used in the book of Genesis is yom, right? And so, yom, it can mean 24 hours. It can mean from dusk till dawn, which is only 12 hours, or it could just mean the Lord's Day, like Sunday. However, the word yom in that dialect is used 2,301 times in the Old Testament. It is used 410 times outside of Genesis 1, which is yom plus a number. It means 24 hours a day every time. 38 times is used yom with evening and morning together. It still means 24 hours. 23 times yom is used alongside evening or morning, and it still means 24 hours. And then it's used 52 times yom with the word night, which still means 24 hours. So, when they use the word day, this being said, that the word yom literally means 24 hours for 6 days. And so, even the Jewish calendar, right, has the year in 2016 being 5,940. Sorry to look at my notes real quick. 5,940 years. And if you look at Matthew 1 through 17 in the genealogy from Abraham to Jesus, you'll see that you can calculate it, that those years from Abraham to Jesus would be 4,004 years. And moving on to a more serious note, in 2012, the U.S. first grade textbooks said that the Earth was approximately 4.6 billion years old. But what else have scientists said throughout the years? Lord Kelvin, a British mathematician and physicist and the president of the Royal Society, said that X-rays will prove to be a hoax. He also said heavier than air flying machines are impossible. Albert Einstein said that there is not the slightest indication that nuclear energy will ever be obtainable It will mean that the atom would have to be shattered at will. A more well-known scientist now, uh, Richard Dawkins, said the existence of God is very unlikely. He also said nobody knows when the earth started, as well as we know the kind of event that must have happened, and it's possible that the earth was seeded by advanced extraterrestrial life, and that you may even find a signature of some sort of designer. So even Richard Dawkins said that. Furthermore, if the earth was 20 billion years old and humans had been here for 3 million years, then the earth would have more than 100,000 people per square inch of the earth. There would be more than 100,000 people per square inch of the earth, which is nuts. And also 3 billion people in every room, which is crazy. Finally, last thought. The earth slows down 1,000th of a second every day. So 100 days, 3 years, would be equivalent to 1 second. 30 years would be equivalent to 10 seconds. 300 years would be equivalent to 100 seconds. 30,000 years would be equivalent to about almost 3 hours. And 240,000 years would be equivalent to 24 hours. So the Earth would pretty much stop at that point. The moon currently is around 230,000 miles away from the Earth, and it moves 2.3 centimeters away from the Earth every year. So at 23 centimeters, that would be 10 years. And 10,000 years, it would move 230 meters. And 10 million years, it would move 230 kilometers. In 100 million years, it would move 2,300 kilometers away. Also, the sun is shrinking, and it shrinks about 8 miles per day. So, in 10 years, it'll shrink 80 miles. In 1,000 years, it'll shrink 8,000 miles. In a million years, it will shrink 8 million miles. And in 10 million years, it would shrink 80,000 miles. So, final thought. 10 million years ago, the sun would be touching the Earth. The moon would have been 230 kilometers nearer, so it would pretty much be hitting the Earth as well with the sun, which wouldn't be a good idea. And the Earth would be spinning 40 times per second. There's no way. And so, if you look at Scripture, if you look deeper, we can have science in our worldview be the same, be equal, and we can enjoy science just like everyone else and not have to change our worldview. Thank you.